A very good morning to the entire August gathering of this ecstatic platform of mutual exchange of views and perspectives, which is set out by Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune, Maharashtra. I, Dr. Shalaka Parkar, Dean MBA, with an immense exultation on behalf of Honorable Dr. Sanjay D. Patil Sir, President, Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan, who is a living example of far-sighted and philanthropic visionary and an amazing leader whose leadership has catapulted this campus from its humble existence to a seat of academic excellence today. I extend a warm welcome and greetings to the elite audience of students, parents, alumni, industry and academia partners of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune. Let me now draw your attention to my honorable co-panelists. Amidst us, we have respected Colonel S.K. Joshi Sir, who is the campus director of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune. He has served the Indian Army for 33 years. He was commissioned at the Armored Corps and his unit was the Sindh Horse, which is one of the prestigious units of Indian Army. He is a man who walks the talk and is an exemplary combination of the introspection of the man of learning and the boldness of man of action. And under his leadership, since 2008, this campus has bloomed to be beautiful in its existence, disciplined in its spirit, and dedicated in academics. Colonel Joshi Sir.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to this video today of Mr. Chetan Bhagat that we are waiting for so long. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. We are also fortunate to have with us Professor Prabhat Ranjan Sir, who is the founder Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil International University, Akurdi, Pune, who is a nuclear fusion scientist, a futurist, an educator, an inventor, an entrepreneur, and a science communicator. Professor Ranjan was heading India's technology think tank DIFAC for 5 years, and during his tenure, he prepared the Technology Vision 2035, a vision to guide the country for the next 2 decades. Professor Prabhat Ranjan Sir.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Welcome, Mr. Bhagat.
Thank you, sir. Now, before we proceed to listen to the prestigious speaker, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, I request all of you to have a look at a beautiful and mesmerizing Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi through this video snippet. Over to the video. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab, hello and a very good morning to one and all. I'm Dr. Shalaka Parkar, Dean at Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune. And on behalf of Honorable Dr. Sanjay D. Patil Sir, President Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan, Honorable Shri Satish D. Patil Sir, Campus Chairman, respected Colonel S.K. Joshi Sir, Campus Director, Professor Prabhat Ranjan Sir, Vice Chancellor, D.Y. Patil International University, Akurdi, all the respected principals of colleges under the aegis of this campus, HODs, faculty members, staff members and students. I welcome all of you to this beautifully landscaped campus of ours, which is spread over 33 acres of land and located in Akurdi, Pune, Maharashtra. Let me tell you that this campus of ours stands tall as an obelisk of academic excellence. We have a glorious past of 36 years of spreading the light of education by being a candle and a mirror that reflects it. And thus, we have been successful in nurturing young talent for our mighty nation, India. So come along with me and breathe into this fresh air that is lingering over the mesmerizing and lush green lawns of our educational complex. Take a look at the academic blocks of our educational complex, which offer education in various disciplines like engineering, polytechnic, degree pharmacy, diploma pharmacy, architecture, applied arts and craft, MCA program, MBA program, agribusiness management, and a CBSE school. You name it and we have it here. Let me tell you that we have 15,000 plus curious and engaged students studying with us, a highly qualified and experienced more than 1,000 plus teachers and 600 plus faculty members under our banner. Also, we are all fully equipped with the statutory requirements such as digital classrooms, digital infrastructure, well-equipped libraries, well-stocked laboratories, and we have a very good ultra-modern auditoriums, seminar halls, training and placement unit, extravagant campus cafeteria, student activity lawns, amphitheaters, sports complex, homely hostels, gymnasium, and state-of-the-art English language laboratories, medical facilities, and so on and so forth. We at Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune, the entire team, inclusive of the management, the principals, the HODs, the faculty members, the staff members, and students, believe and practice in the dictum of Sir Martin Luther King, and I would like to quote, सच्ची शिक्षा के केवल दो लक्ष्य है, एक बुद्धिमत्ता और दूसरा चरित्र, और अकुर्डी शैक्षिक संकुल के हम सभी ये बुद्धिमत्ता और चरित्र निर्माण करने में दिन रात लगे हुए हैं. Let me now draw your attention to the rock-steady pillars of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, who have been working relentlessly and consistently to make this campus a brand name in the field of education in Pune and Maharashtra and also India and abroad. Our highly honorable and revered members of the management are living examples of far-sighted and philanthropic visionaries. They are the backbone and lighthouse for all our stakeholders. Our respected parents, teachers and staff members are second parents, working consistently to convert the dreams and aspirations of our students, parents and industry partners into reality. Our students are positively reciprocating like on wings of fire to the teaching of the curriculum, knowledge, skills and attitude that we are imparting over here. Let me tell you, our parents are beautiful souls who are walking hand in hand with the teachers, helping us to carve out the personal and professional lives of their wards and our students. I salute our alumni, our industry and academic partners who have been helping us in grooming our students to be professionally competent and job ready, not only for Industry 4.0, but also Industry X.0. Excellence in academics has been the motto of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi since its inception in 1984. And today, as a result of this, most of its colleges have been accredited by the prestigious NBA and NAC with good grades. Most of its colleges have been awarded the Best College Award by its affiliating University of Pune. The D.Y. Patil College of Pharmacy has been conferred the gold rank by AICT CII survey successively for 4 times. The principal of degree pharmacy, Dr. N.S. Vyavhare, was given the Best Principal Award by Savitribai Phule Pune University. Let me tell you, the faculty and students have won umpteen number of awards, accolades and recognitions by industry events, competitions, academia events and competitions, and in the areas of research and innovation. As we all know, the entire globe is combating with the menace of COVID-19. And we too, at Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune, have put our best foot forward to find out solutions to fight this coronavirus. Let me tell you that we have in these past 4 months created a conducive online infrastructure, a digital infrastructure which provides online teaching and learning platforms for our teachers and students. Moreover, we have also set up a COVID cell at the campus level which ensures the safety and security measures such as wearing masks, sanitization, monitoring of body temperature for all our students, faculty members, staff, parents and visitors coming over to our campus. Let me tell you that in these past 4 months, we have successfully kept our students and parents engaged through online lectures, practicals, quizzes, tests, competitions, aptitude tests, upskilling certifications, counseling sessions, placement drives, desk research, online internships, and enriching inputs from icons from various walks of life, industry and academia partners. And our students, faculty members and parents have wholeheartedly reciprocated to all these efforts that we as a campus have taken to keep them encouraged, motivated and energized to fight this menace of COVID-19. We, Team Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, understand that the pace of the future growth and progress of India to a large extent depends on the educational institutions in making available the latest and the useful knowledge, the right kind of technical competency and soft intelligent platforms for its students. And so here we are, all geared up to skill our students with the right kind of knowledge, skill and attitude through various platforms and prepare them for future jobs, because every future job is going to be a tech job. So we take all the efforts to upskill our students so they have longevity in their careers. So my dear parents and students, if you're knocking at the door of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune, let me tell you that you're knocking at the right door. I really thank you for joining in with me for this video and hoping to see you very soon with us in this serene, blissful and tucked away in the Mother Nature's lap campus of ours. Until we meet again, please stay fit, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you and God bless you. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Welcome back all the lovely and excited precious souls to this long-awaited, thought-provoking, enriching and intellectually triggering session titled Careers Beyond the Horizon of COVID by Mr. Chetan Bhagat. Today's session marks another crowning glory event of D.Y. Patil Akurdi campus, wherein we have received the vintage honor to be envisioned by our speaker for the day, the Mr. Chetan Bhagat, who has swept off the rug under the feet of all the young and old Indians through his prolific writings, which reveal his deep insights into life, people, and the Indian society at large. It was in class 5 that the writing bug bit Mr. Chetan Bhagat, and then there was no turning back. Through his writings, he always has a good story to tell that deals with reality. Oh, what a tribute he pays to the youngsters of India. He considers that, and I quote, the youth may not be ritualistic. They may hang out in cafes and indulge in pastime pursuits, but there is more to them than what meets the eye. They are India's only hope, unquote. He comments that he writes to entertain and change the world. He believes writing to him is offering to God and his reader. With this, I appeal to the splendid audience of this session to welcome the word and thought wizard, the one and only Mr. Chetan Bhagat, with a huge round of applause from wherever you are seated. Sir,
Thank you.
Sir, on behalf of the entire team of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, I thank you for accepting our invitation. We all are truly humbled. And now, without further delay, I hand over the session to you. Over to Mr. Chetan Bhagat.
Yes. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sirs. And Colonel Joshi ji, very good morning to you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for organizing this. I must say this was planned since so many days. And, and you know, like we even did a dress rehearsal, believe it or not. We did a dress rehearsal a couple of days ago. And I think it's always nice to find ways to connect with students for me. Although I must say, I would have liked to be in Pune. I mean, that's more my style, to be on stage, to, to be and talk to everyone and give a full-blown, seminar there. And I'm sure that will happen one day. But unfortunately, due to Corona, we can't do it. But fortunately, because of this technology we have today, we are able to connect to so many people. And I think in my remarks, and I'll today talk mainly about that because Corona is such a big thing that has happened in the world that it's not easy for people to understand that what is really going on, especially for younger people. So I think I've been doing a couple of webinars like this, and of course on my social media handles I've been in touch with a lot of youth, and there is a lot of anxiety, and I thought I can maybe talk about that. And sometimes it's really hard. I remember doing a webinar a couple of weeks ago with a hotel management institute. Now, these are students who have studied for years, done their graduation in how to work in hospitality, how to work in a hotel or in a kitchen or whatever. And now, with the current lockdown, where the hotels and restaurants are just shut, it's very difficult. I mean, their jobs are getting cut. They're like, sir, what do we do? What's going to happen to us? So I think you have that level of anxiety also for some people, and then some people are just worried that what will happen to placements, what's going to happen to my teaching, what's going to happen to all things I plan to do, all my extracurriculars, all the networking, all the meeting people. And I think those are very valid anxieties that are there. In fact, I would say that the media attention on Corona is a lot, but the attention is not on the mental health or the anxieties that are coming into people now. Now, obviously, the biggest talk is on the cases and how many cases and how many hospitalizations, how many ventilators, how many deaths. All very important. Nobody can deny that we must control corona, and that has taken a lot of the discussion. I would say 70% of discussion is that. But rest of the discussion is on the economy. Yes, people are talking about the economy. How is the economy going to recover? How are certain sectors going to recover? There's a little bit of talk on that. And when will the airlines properly come back? Hospitality come back? But there is almost no talk on the mental health or the anxieties that this crisis is creating in minds of people. Whether or not you've been fired or not, you are feeling anxious. Whether or not you have reached the level of, whether you're looking for a job or not, you're worried that whether you will get one. You wanted to start a startup. You don't know how you're going to do it. So these are all real things, and I think these are not being discussed. So I would urge the students to recognize it in themselves, because maybe it's not something that will come in the media so much, but you will have to deal with these issues because we are living through such times. I can tell you, I've seen a lot of life, and I'm so solemn. I'm here. I'm 46 now, and I've had many lives in one life in a way. Right? I was a student once, and then I was in banking. Then I was a writer. Then I was doing films, and I'm doing motivational talks, do some column. I have worked in multiple fields, but I must tell you, I have not seen something like this in all my life. So if I am not prepared for this, um, how do I expect a young student to be ready to handle a situation like this? I must say two things though. One is I have seen something close to this. I was living in Hong Kong during SARS. SARS happened in 2004, 2003, I think. And I was living there. And Hong Kong was the epicenter of SARS. It's a small place. It's like a city only. It's a city country, you can say. And it was there, and China was where SARS was. SARS is also a kind of coronavirus only. You can say it's a cousin of coronavirus that we have right now, COVID-19. And it was actually more deadly in a way. But luckily, it was not spreading like it was like this one is. But it still caused enormous effects on Hong Kong at that time. It didn't spread worldwide, but in China, in Hong Kong, parts of Asia, it was pretty bad. Like, for example, the property market, like the price of flats and apartments and all in Hong Kong, it fell 50% in a matter of weeks. the stock market fell 50%. So, I mean, when those things are happening, that means something is really dangerous and bad is happening. People are thinking the future will be very dark. But it became okay, and everything came back, and Hong Kong resurged, and in fact, the property went even double of what. Not only it came back, it went much more than what it was eventually. But at that time, I remember I used to work in a bank, and we thought it's over. We thought like it is just going because people would not talk about anything else. It was just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are we going to catch the disease? Is our career over? Is this city finished? Are we going to pack up and leave? I don't know. So, this is a stretched out version of SARS, which is not ending, and we think that it's over. We think like the world, and I know a lot of people are saying the world will never be the same again. It will come back, but it never be the same again doesn't mean it's going to be a worse place. It will be different, maybe a little bit, but it will come back. So all the young people out there, I am telling you, it will come back. I can't tell you the date on which it comes back, right? I can't tell you, and I think that's the anxiety creating part. If we knew that on the 15th of November, Corona will be over, we will not be so worried. But now, it will get over in a couple of months. We don't know when. And that's what we said a couple of months ago. That is a little scary for all of us. But I want to reassure you guys that it will get okay. Because that's the second thing in life I've seen. Things start, they become good, then they become bad, then bad things become good. Nothing is permanent in life. And maybe for you guys, you got this lesson very early. To not take things for granted. You will you will gain a lot of things through this. You will learn who you are as a person because you've had so much time. You will learn to save money. A lot of times people started working and they said things are only going to keep getting better and better. So live for the moment, blow it all up. Maybe now people will be like, what if there's another pandemic? I better have some savings in case I lose my job. So I think some positives like that will come in you, and situation will also improve. In terms of, I follow the news very closely on this. I'm sure many of you do. But just yesterday, there's a US company called Moderna. Their vaccine progress is very good. There's another company called Pfizer, which you may have heard of. Their vaccine progress is very good. Oxford University's vaccine progress is very good. There are more than 100 vaccines being tried, and 3 are in the final stage of testing. And if that testing comes through, it will take 4 months, we will have a vaccine. And then that's it. That's the end of this corona monster that has taken over the world. It could be these vaccines, it could be something else, but it will get okay. So do not let that anxiety come to you saying that, oh my God, it will never be okay. Because if you know that one day things are going to be fine, you will live differently, you will think differently. Finally, when people say it's never going to be the same again, now what is going to be different? What is going to be different is that people have finally learned the power of technology. For the people who are really into tech, these things are already happening. Some people were already doing video calls. Some people were already, shopping online. Some people were already buying things on Amazon. Some people, yeah.
I logged on to Mama's.
Somebody, okay. So I think those things have just become accelerated. Like maybe your parents weren't okay with doing video calls, but now they are. Group video calls. Maybe companies were not okay with doing so much work from home, now they are. So those trends have become faster. And I think that's really good. I think what it also tells you is you must know technology to a certain degree. Either the technical aspects of it, how to code, how to, if you are in those fields, then definitely. In fact, today, for the people who are interested in those things, today Google announced that they are running a course online for 3 months. And that course will be basically to teach certain things like project management, data analysis, and user interface. You know how you use apps, how to make apps that the user finds it easy to use. I have given a link. I just put a link in the meeting chat here. Maybe the team will distribute it to the students later. But that course is very cheap, and there are a lot of scholarships. It's almost costs nothing. And Google is saying that if you do this 3-month course, it will be taught by employees of Google, and if you finish it, it will count as a college degree in these fields. It will count as a 4-year college degree if you do the 3 to 6 month course. I don't know. Check it out. These things are going to happen now. People need skills. People need new technologies, and people need to learn them very fast. That whole thing, like, oh, let's say I'm going to learn how video conferencing works technically, and I'm going to do a 4-year degree with it. Well, people need it now. By the time you do 4 years, maybe there'll be something else. There'll be like 3D conferencing. Who knows? So I think you need to realize that you will need to keep learning new things. And if it is closer to something related to technology, it's good. It doesn't mean only technical things. Like for me, I need to be very, very comfortable as a writer with social media, because I may not be able to go and meet readers. Like I'm not able to come and meet you today. I need to be very comfortable doing the kind of webinars I'm doing today. I need to be very comfortable, announcing my book and using social media channels on it. I need to learn more about streaming platforms, not just movies. These are all changes I need to do. If I make these changes, I will have a career for next 5 to 10 years. If I don't make these changes, I'll be that writer. हाँ वो एक होते थे writer, नदी किनारे बैठ के किताब लिखते थे, and he is not so in tune anymore. अब वो सब कौन देखता है? But I don't want to be that guy. Why are you still here of Chetan Bhagat? I've been around a long time, believe it or not. It's been almost 17 years or 16, 17 years I've been in the public eye. But so much has changed. When I wrote my first book, there was no social media. It didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. There was blogs, which not too many people read now. And those were also small. Internet penetration was hardly there. There were no smartphones. There was no internet on the mobile. There was just like nothing was happening. So it was a totally different way to do things. Today it's a totally different way to do things. And why some of the writers have not survived and why I have survived is changing. But what Corona has done is told everyone, are you the kind of person who can change? And if you're not going to go very far. That always happens in life. If you don't change, slowly, life will put you aside. But Corona is like a test. The world has been tested. Everyone has this exam. Can you change quickly? And that I think is what we are all going through. If you're students, just be open to what is out there, what is technology, know that it's going to get better, and manage your mental health. Don't let negative thoughts fill you. कि मेरा कुछ नहीं होगा, अब तो हम बर्बाद हो गए, हम तो कोरोना जनरेशन है, हमारा तो कुछ नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. There is an opportunity here, and the ones who are smart enough are going to use that opportunity. For me, I know for my books, movies are right now not out of the picture. Theaters are shut. What are you going to do? Who's going to put money in movies? But streaming platforms are big. Now, if I don't approach them, don't at least try, and I sit cry, then that's not good. But if I approach them and something works out, I may have a new career. Same way for you guys, learn to shift, learn to change. This is a test of change, and then wait for this to go away. It will go away, And if you ask me when, 6 months is my guess right now. January of next year, you'll have a vaccine. Okay, but those will be my opening remarks, and I think I can just do some Q&A now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bhagat, for lighting the flame of hope and aspirations for all the young and old audience of this session. Now, as we move ahead, we also have amidst us Professor Jasmita Kaur, Dean Campus Placements, who is the central head and a rock steady pillar for training and placements for students of all 10 colleges under the aegis of our campus for the past 12 years. And she has been successfully making good careers for our students who more than bless her every time they are placed in the company. So may I request Jasmita Kaur madam to kindly take over the question and answer round. Over to Jasmita ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shalaka Parker, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, sir, for your mesmerizing words of wisdom and knowledge. So, taking the session ahead, we now proceed for the question and answer. And we have received the first question from a student of Engineering College, D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Miss Dishita Desai. Her question to you is, how much and how far has your engineering and management education contributed in the success ladder of your life, sir? Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So as you know, I did engineering, but I've never actually done a pure engineering job as such. But for me, I think there are two big benefits I have had because of my engineering degree, and then I'll talk about the MBA. First of all, I think being from an IIT, it's like a brand. It's always mentioned, even though the work I do today has nothing to do with IIT, right? My books have nothing to do with IIT. What has a good story got to do with the IIT? But they will always introduce me as somebody who went to IIT because I think it gives a certain credibility to you. It's becomes like, let's say, like I write a political column in a newspaper, I write an article. It's hard for people to say, oh, he's so stupid, even if they don't like the column, because they know that he went to IIT. So he can't be that stupid. Maybe he's a little stupid. We are all little stupid. But so one is that. Second is, of course, I used my IIT education for something not many people have used, which is to come up with a story that changed my life. I mean, 5.7 was basically my story in college, and the Three Idiots came from that, and so it's just something that gave me a new life. So I have used my experience in IIT for something that almost gave me a new career. In fact, that's why I'm not very fond of full online college, and I hope things get normal soon, because for me, what you do in college, like imagine if I went to IIT purely online, what would I write in Three Idiots? So I think so. The life at IIT really changed me a lot. It made me learn new things, made me make friendships. So I think all that was really a big contribution. I think the MBA is, of course, where you open your perspectives. You learn about business, and a lot of people say that I'm not just an author, but I'm also an entrepreneur, or sort of I'm also kind of like a business. When I became an author, everybody said that writers don't make money. It's a very bad line, don't go there. And I was in investment banking where people make money. So everybody said, why go into this line? This is the worst for money. So I was very conscious that I will not be in a situation where there is no money coming to pay for my bills or expenses. So I always was very clear that even with the writing, and I'm being very honest about it, I want to make sure that I make enough money also. So I looked at it like a little business also. You can't look at writing as any business. It's not like selling soap. It has to be emotional. But I always was very aware that how can we make sure that it is also a proper career in terms of making money. So I think there the MBA helped me a lot to structure my writing career as a business also.
So basically, learning is a continuous process. This is what we come to know from your
of course. You have to keep on learning. You have to, because, and as like I said, as Corona has told you, people who stop learning are finding it very difficult right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that answer. So the next question is from Mr. Aditya Ramchandran, a student at D.Y. Patil College of Pharmacy. So his question to you is, sir, why do you think that writers are not encouraged much as they should be and given importance, particularly in our country?
I agree with you. I feel we should all read more and listen to writers more. But we live in this world where it's become very visual. Like, people are following actors, right? People follow a lot of actors, and they love watching their pretty pictures, and Actors are good looking and they put nice clothes and they put those pictures. But at the end of the day, what is it helping you? Where is it helping you? Every day it's entertainment. Yeah, okay. This actor ate and had this breakfast today. This actor wore a blue dress today. This actor is going to this, I don't know, this place for holiday today or something like that. You see, but usse ho kya raha hai? If you follow people to for their brain, for example, for their mind, for what they have to say, not just how they look. Of course, looks also is nice to have the fit, and you can maybe some people you can follow because it gives you some inspiration to look good and become fit. Fine, but if you only follow that and don't follow people for their mind or brain, I think you're missing something which social media has to offer. If you want to be a scientist and you're not following any scientists, if you want to be a salesperson but you're not following all the salespeople who are good at selling or brands or advertising agencies, I don't know, whatever it is. If you want to be a lawyer but you're not following the good lawyers, how is that right? But you still keep on following some star kid, because you want to know what she ate for breakfast. I mean, you tell me, where does it make sense? So same comes with writers. Typically with writers, you will learn something. I mean, they will say something. You may not agree with everything, but they will at least say something that will make you think. So yes, please readjust your social media feeds in terms of who you are following. I think it's very important, and I think that is what we can do. And if that happens, then automatically, like the country will start giving more importance, not just to writers, to people who have things to say. Not just the way they look.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. So the third question is from a student at YB Patil Polytechnic. He is Mr. Shrikant Pawar. So his question to you is, what should one do when it seems that your life is a big question mark?
Life is a question mark only. वो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. I mean, it's not like one day you will say, मुझे समझ आ गया अभी जीवन का अर्थ क्या है. That's what my experience. I also used to think that way. कि one day I'll have all the answers. I will know what I want to do. I'll have the right balance, like work-life balance. I'm just giving one example. How much work, how much life, how much fun, how much ambition, how much rest. We don't know. I mean, I still don't know the good answer to that. I kind of have a sense. I know that if I do this much, then it's very tough. If I do too much work, it causes stress in me. If I do too less, I feel guilty for not doing enough. Somewhere in the middle is the answer. So like that. So what will happen to you in life is you just try different things. Because there is no formula that, okay, this 50% this, 20% this relationships, this 10%. You have to try with different things and you will see that I like this and I don't like this. This works for me, this doesn't work for me. Try करके देखते हैं. So you keep on trying different things and some sort of an answer will come. If you're in a question mark, try different things. That's it. Try different new things.
Thank you. These were motivating and definitely encouraging words for our students in this difficult times of pandemic, sir. Our fourth question comes from one of the principals of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Engineering Management and Research at Akurdi, Dr. Mrs. Anupama Patil ma'am. So her question to you is, which role of your life is very close to your heart? A successful celebrity, father of 2 sons, Ishan and Sham, Anushka's husband, Anushka's boyfriend, or a hardcore Indian?
Baapre. So many roles. It's I don't know, it's one or the other. What you told me just tells me, and I think it can apply to anyone, that we are not just one thing. I think one thing I am very clear is that I'm not just it's very easy to get lost in the fame and the whole thing of, I'm a writer and I must do this and I must do that, and lose track of your family. I mean, like you mentioned, you didn't mention son, but I mean, my mother is there. So things like that. So I definitely feel everyone should have some importance of family in life. Otherwise, what's the point? If I'm working non-stop, I'm becoming very successful also, but I don't really have any time for my family. So what is the so and if I don't take care of myself, like my health, my sleep, simple things. I know it's simple things. Do I sleep enough? It's not very exciting, like launching a book or a movie. But if I don't sleep enough, what's the point of life? So I always feel like life, it's like a three legs table life, which is your career, your health, and your relationships. I cannot, and if any of those legs is not fixed properly or it's breaking, or your life will be not balanced. So I cannot say which leg is more important, really. If my health is not okay, what do I do with the great career? But if my health is okay, but my career is not okay, then I will get worried on that. And if all that is there, but if I don't have, my relationships are not in order, then that's also not good. So career, life, relationships, life is a balance of these three things.
So basically, we all have to learn, a perfect example of work-life balance, and we all hope and we all feel that you're a living legend for that.
No, I'm also learning. It's not like I said, there is no formula, there's no answer that will come one day. Everybody is different. Some people are complete workaholic. It's whatever makes you happy. You need all three. The ratio I can't tell you. The ratio you have to decide. But if one is missing, it's like you not being happy.
Right, sir. Another question that we have is a student from DY Patil Institute of MCA and Management, sir, Mr. Anurag Jha, and his question to you is, how will COVID-19 situation affect the job opportunities in our country, sir?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be like fake. I think it is going to have an effect, which is negative in the short term. Meaning, like right now, the economy is really down. People are very scared to. I mean, the business is not there. How do you get jobs? You get jobs because business is hiring mostly, right? And if businesses are hiring, they will only hire when they are growing or when they have new things. So right now it's not growth time. Right now it's like recession time where people are actually scaling down, cutting salaries, things like that. So it's not good right now. But once this gets over, it's going, because there is so much pent up demand. There are so many things that are not, people are not able to do right now, which they will be able to do the moment it gets open. Like for example, travel, just one example. And or for example, my events. You guys can't be in an auditorium with me right now. I mean, but when it becomes okay, like not just because it's allowed, but people feel safe that yeah, there's a whatever vaccine or the corona has died or whatever. It's now okay. I know that everybody will say, "Come, give a talk now," because we need to do events. We need to bring back. And I think that's when it will bounce back. It will bounce back very hard. It will not be slowly, it will come back. So we will have a boom also. This is like a hurricane. Some recessions are like, okay, cyclical recessions, like there's a over investment happened, too many factories, too many, like there's not much demand. It takes 3 years for the economy to go down, 3 years to come back. This is not that. This is a storm. This is like a storm that comes and like for a few days, everything is crazy in the city. And then it goes away. And then things become okay. So this will be one of those categories. But it's a long storm, which is not nice. But that's how I look at it.
So we will ensure, sir, the link that you will be sharing with us regarding the certificate course offered by Google will be shared with all the youngsters so that they can keep themselves engaged and keep learning during this difficult times.
काम तो करना है यार, काम तो करना है ना. ये तो नहीं कि अब कोरोना तो बैठ गए घर पे. काम तो चालू रहेगा. You have to keep going.
Very right. So the next question, sir, we have the questions are coming in the same format, but one question again has come back saying that what skills of your engineering days have helped you in your writing career? The question is from an engineering a student, DY Patil College of Engineering, Mr. Aniket Kadge.
What skills? like I said, just to, I like to think through things. I think that's what engineering taught me, a problem solving kind of thing. I like to look at problems कि क्यों एक problem हो रही है और उसका solution क्या है, which I think has made me more solution oriented. I think engineering made me more solution oriented, not just ये खराब है वो खराब है, कैसे ठीक होगा भी. I like to look at, even though I'm not looking at an engineering problem now. Like for example, Corona, I said, yeah, it's very bad, this, that, this, पर ऐसे ठीक होगा और ठीक होएगा और जोड़ के. So I think it makes me a more positive person in that way, because I feel क्या problem है, बैठ के solve करते हैं, rather than saying अरे ये हम लुट गए, हम बर्बाद हो गए. That's not me. And I think engineering has something to do with it.
Right.
That it made me more problem solving and positive solution oriented person.
Thank you, sir. We have one question from a professor, Civil Engineering Department, Dr. Sandeep Shiekar, sir. The question to you is, are all books written by you based on your real life or somebody else's real life?
Yes, either mine or someone else's. And I think I am there like in every book in some way, like not just me as me, but whatever we write comes from our imagination, and our imagination oftentimes builds on our own experiences, life as we have seen it. Like it's even simple things like I if I mention a restaurant in one of my books, a restaurant scene, there's a very good chance I've gone to that restaurant. Otherwise, I will not normally mention it. So, something like that. So, yes, there are portions of my life, a lot of them in books like Two States, 5.1, but even in the others, there is me there, yes.
Thank you, sir. I would request Parker ma'am to pitch in. Some more questions are there with Dr. Shalaka Parker ma'am. So, Dr. Shalaka Parker ma'am, over to you.
Hello, thank you, Jasmita. Can you all hear me? Sir, I think the students are now pretty excited and they are, pouring in with questions. So there is one student, Siddhi Bhandari, and she wants to ask you, how do you see employability of students post the COVID situation?
देखो पोस्ट कोविड तो अच्छी होगी, इन द कोविड सिचुएशन खराब है, अभी खराब है. But and even now, I think people in certain fields have an advantage. Like some companies are actually doing well. I mean, tech is doing well, for example. But I think we will have a tough time for 1 year. But then there will be a very big bounce back. That will happen for sure.
Ji, sir. So there is one more question by one of the engineering students, and she wants to know, what is the message that you have for our Akurdi campus students today?
See this as a lesson and see this that as a time to, it's not a stop button on life. It is a pause button. There's a pause when you watch a video on YouTube. There is pause and there is this ekdam stop. Bas band kar do. Pause is not that. Pause is just means you have to wait. And if you're waiting, see what you learn about yourself. Which direction you want to take your life in. What makes you happy. Where can you work. What the work you enjoy. What work you don't enjoy. All these things we keep on saying that we must do. But in the normal life, it's so hectic and you're taking a bus and you're in class, you're doing all these things. You never get a chance to think. But now you're getting a chance to think. So think, reflect, and before you know it, it will be over.
Thank you, sir. We have a management students, sir, who are curious to know your views on whether what is good. Doing a job is good or being an entrepreneur is good. So what is your take on that, sir?
I think it depends on person to person. If you are okay to taking some risks, then I think you always entrepreneurship is better. I personally I've done both. I worked in a job and I'm an entrepreneur now. I like entrepreneurship more. But some people I know they just like they like to work in a normal stable job more. So it depends on person to person. But I think people are okay to take risks, and if you are asking this question, that means you have a desire to be an entrepreneur. So try it out.
Okay. So then there's one question from our teachers who represent the entire teacher community at our campus. What is your message? How would you guide them to guide students and other stakeholders of ours in this pandemic, with respect to this pandemic situation?
Yeah, like I said, I think right now, see, I can't be there every day, and I think right now every teacher has to not only teach his or her subject, but every teacher has to become a motivational speaker. Every teacher has to realize the mental health issues. Every teacher has to realize that they have to be strong because the students may feel like, oh my God, what's happening? And maybe the teacher is also feeling the same thing, but they cannot be weak. They are guides. So yeah.
Okay. So then there's another question from our other stakeholders, our parents. So they are very curious and concerned and kind of groping in the dark about their ward's career. So what would your advice or suggestion to our parent community
Yeah.
for this during?
Parents also, there will be anxiety in them, but you have to try your best, not that it doesn't reach the kid, it doesn't reach the student. It is, you've seen more life than your student, and you know कि अच्छा वक्त भी नहीं रहता and बुरा time भी नहीं रहता, and this is, you can say, is not the best time, but it will go away, and you just have to change the assumptions. Maybe you dreamt कि हाँ, by this date my son will be an engineer or my daughter will be a doctor or whatever it is. You just have to say right now, life is different. Right now we are pause button. बाद में देखेंगे, ठीक है? But what can my child do right now to keep developing themselves? कुछ भी कर लो. Either learn something or become fit. Like let's say you always wanted, like one of the things I've been trying to do is I've never, because I used to travel so much for events. Like I took 100 flights last year. Now I haven't taken any flight for 4 or 5 months. I mean, then it's given me time to focus on my, on my health. So I think that's what is important. That they use the time productively, get some skills if they can, but take away those desires that of their achievements of the children right now. अभी नहीं हो सकता. Sorry. It's just tough.
Gee, sir. Sir, our industry partners, let me share with you that they have been a very strong support with respect to giving online internships and placements to our students, sir. So what would you say to them, sir, our industry partners especially?
Yeah, the industry, and it applies to me also. I have some employees, and it's tough, and you feel very nervous that what's going to happen to my business. But if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a business owner, you have to be optimistic. You cannot, experts can be pessimistic and other people can be pessimistic, but you have to be optimistic. If it's not going to get better, yes, you can go slow, but you have to believe that it's going to get better, I think.
Okay. So one more question from our students is they are finding it a little difficult, even our teachers, to switch over from this traditional classroom teaching to this online learning platforms because of this COVID pandemic. And with the higher educational institutions in India, they are still struggling to build a robust digital infrastructure. So, sir, in this struggling phase, what will be your advice and words of motivation for our students and teachers with this changing pedagogical platform?
Yeah, I even though I'm doing a webinar and it's okay for a webinar, I think it's okay because it's 1 hour. But shifting to a pure online basis, I don't think it's not possible. I think you can do it. People did it because they said Corona is for 2 months. And you can do it for 2 months. We can't do it for the whole year. You can't. I mean, it's just difficult. And I think you have to accordingly adjust the course load, adjust the workload, and firstly cannot expect the same productivity as real college, and it's just not possible to do it. Like it's like even when you do a video call with your friend versus you go out and meet them and have lunch together. Is it the same? No. So how can the education be the same? It will not be the same. But you can still achieve a lot. It's better. You can keep a connection And I think you can rely a lot more on self-study and use the online thing to more like a guide. Don't expect that you will not study on your own and you will come and watch it like a TV and then you will learn everything. वो नहीं होने वाला है. अगर टाटा स्काई देख के लोग सीख जाते तो फिर स्कूल कॉलेज खुलते ही ना. We would have shifted to that long ago. Because trust me, it is much simpler to do a video call than to build a college and have classroom, have schedules, have labs, have all kind of things that go on in a college and hire faculty, hire admin staff. It's because it works. It teaches you things and it cannot be substituted by pure online for 100% switch. It can be for 2-3 months. And especially, you guys are still in college, but yeah, so it's still okay because the children are grown up. But for little kids in schools, little kids have no attention, like 9-year-olds attending online classes morning till afternoon. How do you expect?
Absolutely.
Arey yaar, it's not possible. It's better to give it a pause. It's better to say, okay, become really good at this thing in these 9 months. कोई एक दो चीज ले लो इसमें, just learn this really, really well and become a master in that. College people, it's a little easier because they understand. But you have to realize that it's only 50% can be effective and rely more on self-study and use the online thing as a guide. You can't do 100% of substitution. That's my view. And just hope that it gets okay soon because this is nothing like the real college.
Yes, even we are with our fingers crossed to pass over this pandemic. So this question is from our the topmost academic leaders of our campus, that is the principals of all the 10 colleges under the aegis of our campus. They are the ones who are on, the seat wherein they have to do the strategic planning and take decisions and make all the stakeholders of education comfortable, sir, especially during this tough phase. So what would your message be for our respected principals of these colleges?
This too shall pass, and stay strong and realize that make some changes. I think that were already due and redesign. I think there's some redesign. You can't just say, okay, now we'll live stream the class. It's going to be the exact same thing as the class. It has to be a little different. And you have to accept that people cannot sit alone and stare at a screen for 8 hours and learn.
Jesus.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. So I think I'll just check up with Jasmita ma'am in case she has any questions that have come recently. Over to Jasmita ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. So one more question that I have received is from a student of Management MCA and Management Institute, and the question to you, sir, is what are your tips for the budding entrepreneurs? Question from Mr. Shubham Rathod, sir.
Yeah. See, entrepreneurship is about some risk-taking ability, and secondly, to solving some problem for your customers, and creating a very good customer experience. It's not just about business, but it starts normally with something is wrong in society. Some people need something. It could be they're hungry, they need pizza, or it could be they need software. It could be anything. But what is it exactly you need to know? And what it's Jeff Bezos, one of the richest guys in the world, the richest guy in the world actually, says this: create a great customer experience. What does that mean? When anybody, a random person in India who's like very far away from the USA, which is Amazon's home, buys anything from Amazon, usually they have a very good experience. They buy it, it comes nicely packed, it comes on the date, you get messages, it's coming, whatever. You can buy it, the site is easy to search. It's even something like buy soap from Amazon, you will have a decent experience. And once he got that experience right, he was able to expand it, he was able to scale it, and it became a worldwide phenomenon. if you don't get your experience, what is the customer's experience? What are they wanting? How are you satisfying that need? If you don't get that right, no matter how much financial planning you do, how much guts you have, it's not going to work. Something has to be there, right? If my business is to tell stories, and if I can't tell a good story, no matter how many marketing tricks I apply, it's not going to work. So people, when they read my book, they have a good experience. They laugh, they are happy, they can't put the book down, it really absorbs them. That's why they've made me the writer that I am. That is how you have, so whatever your thing is, make sure you focus on that customer and giving them a great experience.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this wonderful answer. And one more question from Professor, Assistant Professor from Instrumentation and Control Engineering Department of our campus, Professor Vipin Vibhute, sir. The question to you is, sir, who or what is your inspiration when you write any book?
It depends on book to book, but I see India, and I something about India I want to capture, and I will write a book based on that theme, what is happening in society today. And I obviously want people to discover the joy of books. So I don't like writing boring books. If today my inspiration really is write a book which is so gripping that people will keep their phone away. People don't want the screen. They want to read the book. And if I can do that in 2020 with so many distractions, I think it's a big achievement. So that's my inspiration.
So the questions are repetitive, and one more question again, which says that how did your management studies been helpful in writing books? So students want to know how. Yes, management studies.
I think in selling books for sure, in building a brand, I was very clear the power of brand. Today, my name, people know my name, and I think because of that, it helps me. So that I think comes from the power of understanding that I need to be a brand. That if you pick up a Chetan Bhagat book or watch a Chetan Bhagat movie, you will not get bored. That could be the brand. Or he speaks well. That's the brand. I don't know, whatever it is. So I think you have that branding comes. And of course, maybe planning a little bit, but yeah.
So I have a last question here at my end, which says that how did you choose to select writing as your profession? How did you realize your right skills required for being a good author? And which is the best book of yours you like?
Yeah, I like telling stories. I didn't know I'm such a good writer or a bad writer. I didn't know that because I've not written a book which was published before. But once I wrote the first one, it became a hit. And second, third, like 3 books became a hit in a row. I said, okay, there is something I have. I have a gift of writing stories that a lot of people like. So that's how I discovered that I'm good at writing. But interest in writing I've had right from the beginning. Right when I was a child. See, we didn't have these phones and all these videos and all that, guys. We didn't have TikTok. So for us, when we were growing up, books were a big deal. So for me, I always had an interest in that.
Right. So I've got one more question which says, what is the best lesson by COVID-19 for a business module which is to be considered? This is a question from our management study students, sir. The lesson that the COVID-19 has given for a business module.
Your business has to have an online or tech component to it. I don't care what it is. You could be selling flowers, but you better have a website which sells flowers also. I don't know, without a tech thing, you are at a serious disadvantage today. So, and those who have a good tech integration, they're not that affected.
Over to you, Parker ma'am. My questions are done.
Okay, thank you, Jaswita. There is one last question from the soft skills department at our campus, sir. This department especially is geared up to give those extra skills which the industry partners expect from our students. So the department has a question for you that in this world of competition, alongside technical skills, how much of soft skills should the students be equipped with to have good careers in industry and elsewhere?
Oh, Yeah, firstly, I think it's a really great idea. I was not aware that you guys have a special department for soft skills, and I think it's really good. I have learned this over time, especially now that I'm a writer. So you can say writers write about emotions and people. So it's all about soft skills, but my education is all about hard skills. So in a way, I have seen both. And I think when you're in the beginning of your career, hard skills matter a lot. Like, can you code properly, or can you talk properly? Can you make a spreadsheet properly? All those things. But as you get more senior, soft skills become more and more to the point that when you reach the top, it's all soft skills. People, how do you rise after a point? By networking, by talking to people, by leading people, by motivating people. It's not like you're always just going to be doing technical things. So the world works on soft skills because there are people. People care about how they are treated. People care about relationships. People care about emotions. And it has nothing to do with what industry you're in. And if you can't work with people, which is what a lot of soft skills are about, basically, right? I mean, it's about working with people. If you can't work with people, you could be the most brilliant mind, you will not go very far. So I think it is extremely important. I would say even more important later in life, like the stage of my life, it's all about soft skills. Everything is soft skills.
Ji, sir. So I think I'll hand it over now to Jasmita Kaur, ma'am, to take the session ahead.
Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. Sir, with your permission, one last question. Very interesting question has come to me, and then we will end up the session. The question has come from the first year engineering student, and the question is, from career point of view, sir, what is better, a job or being an entrepreneur? Taking up a job or being an entrepreneur?
Yeah,
So
I think a similar question came earlier also. Like I said, it depends on the individual. If you have a zero risk tolerance, then you should do a job because entrepreneurship is about risk. But if you like taking some risk, and the fact that you're asking this question means there is some desire that you want to do, otherwise you wouldn't have asked. Then I think I personally like entrepreneurship more, but that's because I'm okay with a little bit of risk. But someone else may not. I mean, I know some of my friends who just say that they want a stable job at the bank, and that's all they want to do.
right. So we need to find the spark within us, basically.
Yes.
So thank you so much, sir. We all are humbled and extremely grateful to you, sir, for the time and the effort that you have taken to share your valuable thoughts and your rich experience with our students, our faculty members, our parents, alumni, and the industry partners, sir. On behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akurdi, Pune, I, Jasmita Kaur, working at the capacity of Dean Placements, deem it as my proud privilege to extend a very hearty vote of thanks, gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Chetan Bhagat for his inspiring and outstanding talk today, sir. So you are simple and your easy flowing writing style, your depth of understanding your readers and your ability to present the subject in such an interesting and lucid way has resulted in one of the most memorable day in the history of Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan, sir. At this juncture, we humbly request you to consider adding D.Y. Patil Educational Complex Akurdi in your annual speaking tour. And presently, it was a virtual tour of the reflection of your thoughts because of the current pandemic situation. So, we must admit that your enthusiasm is contagious. And some of the key takeaways from today's talk of yours is being flexible, nothing is permanent, and hence we all should be physically, spiritually, and mentally strong as well as healthy. Thank you so much, sir, for your magnificent contribution. We once again extend our sincere gratitude to you for sharing your pearls of wisdom on careers beyond the horizon of COVID-19. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much once again to the entire team for organizing this great session. Thank you for students to join in, and to the students who asked those questions. They were very enriching and very interesting questions. I really have to think to answer some of them, and I also learned something answering them. So thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye.
But I will certainly request, dear Cheta, other day I said, I have a claim on you being from the army background. Please make it a point to visit my campus. It's not
Yes,
very
sir.
far from Bombay.
Sir, I love Pune. Believe it or not, I have actually gone to in my couple of my books. Because from Mumbai, I would just drive to Pune and stay there for a couple of days because it was close enough to ride. So I am very fond of Pune. Like it's also a big army station, camp and everything. So I would love to come. Please, although this webinar was great, I want to come and meet your students. So
Yes,
let's
yes,
see.
yes. It will be pleasure. It will be a great pleasure. Thank you very much. You have
Thank
really
you.
conducted yourself very well, and thanks a lot
Thank-
for that.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you.
God
Thank-
bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.